Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Johnson, the President's fiscal year 2015 budget zeroes out funding for the State Criminal Alien Assistance Program. Now, that's the program, as you know, that reimburses state and local governments for the costs of incarcerating unauthorized immigrants. I'm very troubled by this because already the program only reimburses a very small amount to the local governments for the actual cost of housing illegal immigrants. Just less than 2 weeks ago, in our local newspaper on the front page, there happens to be a story that says the prison illegals costing the county of Luzerne $1.7 million. And I'm quoting from the paper that the county received only $130,000 in federal funding to offset the costs. That's $1.7 million. That won't educate one child. It won't fix one pothole. It won't pick up one person's trash. Now, if the President gets his way, the local taxpayers will foot the entire bill. Now, back in my district already, the people in my district are already struggling to figure out how they're going to pay their rent, how they're going to pay their mortgage, how they're going to educate their children. And we want the local taxpayers to pay the cost. This was a problem that was caused by the federal government. It was caused by the federal government by not securing our borders. It was caused by the federal government by not enforcing our immigration laws. And now we expect the local taxpayers to pay for it. How can you justify passing this on to the local taxpayers?
Congressman, we have dedicated a record number of resources to securing our borders to prevent illegal border crossings. This budget submission reflects tough choices in
Well, my question is, how do we justify putting the cost on a local taxpayer? And when cities like mine, while I was mayor and wanted to defend ourselves because the federal government wasn't doing its job, or a state like Arizona, who also wanted to do something because the federal government wasn't doing its job, the federal government turns around and sues them. So how do we justify asking the local taxpayer to pay for a problem that was caused by the federal government?
I believe that your constituents, the people of the city that you were mayor of, we will, if a particular program is the funding for it is decreased because of difficult choices.
Well, it was a decrease. It was zeroed out. Basically telling the local taxpayers all around the country that you will pay for the cost of incarcerating illegal immigrants.
I believe that if that occurs, we can leverage other programs to support the public safety of your constituents, sir.
So am I hearing that if the President's budget is passed, that there will be another program that will pay for the cost or help reimburse the cost?
Something as important as public safety, if we are zeroing out a particular program, we ought to be able to leverage other programs to compensate for that.
And you'll make that recommendation to the President?
I believe that is reflected in this budget submission, sir.
Could you tell me what program offsets this cost to the local government?
I can get back to you more specifically.
So there is something in this budget that would offset the cost of incarcerating. I just want to make sure I have this right.
Well, like I said, if we make a choice to defund a program because of the fiscal constraints we have and the top.
Well, let me tell you,
I
know the fiscal constraints here, but I also know the fiscal constraints of local governments too. They are bankrupt, and the people are also on the verge of bankruptcy as well. So I don't know where they're going to get the money, but I just want to make sure, because my time is running out. There is another program in the President's budget that will offset the cost of incarcerating illegal immigrants.
If we defund something, we hope to leverage it elsewhere.
Well, hope is different than there is. Is there something in the budget that actually does that? I just want to be able to go home and tell the people back home that there is something else that will reimburse the minimal amount that the federal government was already paying.
On matters of public safety, we will leverage it one way or another. My job is to assure the homeland security of your constituents and the constituents of everybody else on this committee. And if we can't do it one way, we're going to find a way to do it another.
I'll tell
That's
them.
my job, sir.
Thank you.